A big hello and welcome to another episode of Cricket Pundits. It's Bangalore taking on Punjab in match number 31 of the Indian T20 League. I'm in the company of Mandira, Lalvani and Ayaz, Memon, the two usual suspects. Mandira, Ayaz, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Anubhav.
Great to have you. Ayaz, I'm guessing everything between these two sides different apart from the color of the jersey, apart from the red in the jersey.
Yeah, that's true, Anubhav. And I think, look, really, you have to say that if I had to kind of use an analogy, and if you have to make this into a kabaddi game, then Punjab is like with only one player remaining, and against the entire team on the other side. So I mean, that's how desperate, that's how the situation is. And look, if you look at the last 6-7 days, the best performing team in the India T20 League has been Bangalore. They suddenly seem to have kind of got their josh and their hosh. The sensitivities, the sensibilities have come back. Hey, we must play to win, and the josh. And I think the key to that has been Virat Kohli's revival in form, because the swagger is back. And once he's got the swagger back, then everything else perks up. And then you've got AB de Villiers, showcasing his genius. And then you got, which I think a lot of people have missed, Chris Morris coming in, and just suddenly the attack is looking brilliant, because Morris is economical, picking up wickets. Saini is quick, picking up wickets. Chahal and Washington Sundar were bowling exceptionally in any case. A word about Washington Sundar, amongst the most economical bowlers in the league, and also wicket taker. And he might be the guy, a key guy, because he comes up front against two informed batsmen, KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal, because he's going to bowl the first couple of overs in all likelihood. So I think this is going to be, Bangalore's match to lose, in my opinion, because they've got everything going for them. The momentum, the players in form, the top order is clicking, the bowling is clicking, and as I mentioned, Virat Kohli's swagger is back. Punjab look probably going to play Chris Gayle today, as they should, because nothing else seems to be working. They will look for runs again from not just Rahul and Mayank Agarwal, but also from Nicholas Pooran. And Nicholas Pooran has been amongst those batsmen who looks very good and then throws it away. So he needs to be on his guard there. And of course, Shami, Bishnoi, Cottrell, some of these guys too. But they need runs to defend. And if they've got the runs, then they need the bowlers to live up to their reputation. And that's what's been happening with Punjab. They just don't seem to kind of get their act right, and very, very, very vulnerable under pressure. For Bangalore, Virat Kohli without doubt. AB de Villiers, not much needed to explain why these two are there. And Washington Sundar, for the reason that I mentioned, because he's going to come up front against Rahul and Mayank Agarwal. If they take him apart, if they get into him, first 2 overs go for 25, 26 runs, then Bangalore could be on the back foot. So Sundar is very critical for Bangalore's bowling attack. And for Punjab, Rahul and Mayank Agarwal for certain, but Rahul I'll picture as one of the players, because he's also the captain. He needs to show a little more, I think spirit, if I might say it. Shoulders shouldn't sag.
To say the least.
Ravi Bishnoi, because he's bowled, I think he's emerging as the pick of the bowlers, even a little ahead, I think, of Shami. And then I pick Chris Gayle, because he's the X factor. We don't know what, he's 40 and something. But even so, he's got such a spectacular record that if he plays half of what his reputation suggests, they might actually do well.
Mandira, how did you see this matchup playing out, followed by your player picks?
So Punjab, I mean, it's been one X factor after the other that they're hoping and praying for, and hopefully this one should click. Maxwell, guy, whatever, Mujibur Rahman, we're waiting for that jadoo. It's not happening, and Punjab is just they just crumble under pressure. They're becoming the chokers of the tournament. Ironically, the maximum number of runs have been scored by the opening pair, but it is just ironic that the two highest in the scores for batsmen are KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal, but that is unfortunately not translated to any sort of match result of note for them. They only had one win so far in 7 matches, so literally this is it. So I think Chris Gayle is going to be very, very vital. It'll be interesting to see how they play him. Let's not forget Rahul and Mayank have a fantastic understanding to open the innings, but Gayle is an opener. So if he comes in with Mayank and then Rahul is pushed down to 3, is that what they're going to do? There's, I think Mujibur Rahman, they should still persist with. I think he could be particularly troublesome for the openers for Bangalore, because they've struggled a bit against spin. So I think Punjab, of course, has the potential. They're just not getting it together. And I'm sure Anil Kumble by now must be, at his wits' end with how to get this beautiful looking team on paper together. I mean, this is it. There is no other option for them. If they have even the slightest, slimmest chance of thinking about making it to the playoffs. On the other hand, Bangalore 4 wins on the trot. That swagger is back, as Ayaz said. They've got the confidence, the body language, the swag, the attitude, and the performances. AB de Villiers was absolutely effortless and sublime in the last performance. Virat Kohli is back with a bang, and when you have these two firing, it can go crazy, and in all likelihood it will. Bangalore, however, cannot get complacent or overconfident, which can also cause an upset here, because here we have a desperate team, desperate to get in the points. Here we have a team who might be thinking, chalo, we can do no wrong. So I think they should watch out a little bit for the overconfidence. My picks here would be for Punjab, KL Rahul for sure. Yes, he is the highest run getter, but his strike rate is very, very slow. And that costs the team enough batting options, because if he's there the crease for so long and yet scoring slowly, it's not fair. Format like 2020 where you need the slam bam and you need the strike rate to be of a certain level. So definitely KL Rahul, Chris Gale, obviously. I mean, now the universe boss is going to come and hopefully speak with his bat, because Gale he's a guy who can, play a game changer of an innings and has done so many times before, right? So let's see if that's the Gale we see. He is coming at the back of a stomach upset and a stomach infection. So I don't know in the Dubai heat, etc., how it's going to work. And the third person I will watch out for is Mujibur Rahman. As I mentioned earlier, I think he could be particularly worrisome for the Bangalore side against their openers if they play him in the power play, if they do decide to persist with him. So my third would be Mujibur Rahman. For Bangalore, mine is ditto word for word Ayaz. There's Virat and AB and very little reason to say why. And there's Washington Sundar. He has this unique ability, not unique, but a very well-honed ability to watch the batsman feet till the last second, and then he decides his delivery. Then his accuracy and his guile. So he is definitely one to watch out for. Those are my three.
Understood. Mandira, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the Punjab camp, right?
Oh no,
it's all gone wrong.
Yeah.
Given the fact that currently people aren't quite expecting Punjab to pull off the heroics. The fact that they might not have anything to lose right now, and they've in a way hit rock bottom. I think you had mentioned something similar as well in one of the earlier discussions that we had. The only way for them to move is upward, once you rock bottom. So will the baggage somewhat being off their shoulder, will that, enable them to play in a more liberating manner? Will they be able to express themselves more freely because of this?
I should hope so. And I should hope that Gale's inclusion in the side will breathe some life into this side as well. Like Rahul, he's a fantastic batsman. There's nothing wrong about him, but his energy just doesn't come across as one of a leader or a captain who necessarily, he needs to at this point inject that josh in his team. So I hope that your analysis and your assumption is right to say that they really cannot go any lower than this. But this is also a do or die, which means a lot of pressure also. This means, if they lose this match, they may as well just keep chilling in the bottom. It doesn't really matter. So I think they need to win this match. Pressure is immense on them, and they don't perform well under pressure, as we've seen time and time and time again. So that is what I'm going to pick Bangalore, obviously, but not because I'm abandoning Punjab in its dark days, but Bangalore's always been my team that I support, and now obviously.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just add something here, which might be of some encouragement to not just Punjab but also Punjabi like Mandira, which is in the match that they had played earlier against Bangalore. They whipped Bangalore. Bangalore.
They only win.
Their only win. Rahul smashed 132 of 69 deliveries and so on. And Bangalore looked like they were in kindergarten. So they might want to deep dive a little into the recent history and say, hey, we can do it, and that will be some kind of encouragement. But having said that, the run in form over the last 7, 8, 10 days, and looking at 5 matches they've lost to the trot, Punjab, the odds are heavily stacked against them. And therefore, I'm giving you my pick. It's going to be Bangalore.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Mandira. Thank you so much, Ayaz. It's a roaring Bangalore versus a dormant Punjab. It might be a David versus Goliath battle on paper based upon their respective records in the tournament so far. But you never know when the sleeping giant might be wide awake again. And it was certainly wide awake when these two sides faced each other in the first half of the tournament. Thank you so much for having joined us for another episode of Cricket Pundits. And do join us again as we look ahead to Mumbai versus Kolkata in match number 32 of the Indian T20 League. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and cheers.